Morning everyone. I was asked a question about the gut in relation to zeolite, so I thought I would do a quick little video on the gut because how many people have got gut health issues these days? It's fairly rampant out there. So the product that of course I like, and I can send you the link if you want to get it, are Zetox product, zeolite pure. So with the zeolite products, basically it is a highly charged mineral that needs to be heated to 900 degrees to get all the toxins out of it. It's a mineral found in nature, but in nature it sops up toxins. So it's really, so most zeolites on the planet, when we buy them, they're not cleansed properly. It can be organic, taken straight out of the ground, but if it's not cleansed, then we're taking all sorts of pesticides and herbicides and all sorts of things into our body at the same time. So unfortunately, we can end up with problems. So from the potential of having a poisoned gut because of all sorts of medications, because of all sorts of things in our foods, our food supply, our glycophates, pesticides, herbicides, the toxins in our water like fluorides and chlorines and that sort of thing, the toxins in our food supply. It's just so hard to keep physically well these days with the onslaught that we have, that we're breathing in, eating and drinking. So something like zeolite on a daily basis absolutely helps to support things. But depending on the amount of gut pain we've got going on, there can be something called SIBO. So small intestinal bacterial overgrowth is basically something where the large intestine, so the large intestine, the bowels, somehow the little bacteria have got through our valves and gone up into the small intestine. They're not supposed to be there. So when we're feeling that bloating after anything, that's not supposed to be there. So things like, there's lots of these products out there, but things specifically for SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and that tends to go hand in hand with SIFO, small intestinal fungal overgrowth, and small intestinal candida overgrowth. So these things can become systemic, and we can have systemic bacterial infections, candida and fungus. Parex is another one. So things that are anti-parasites, great to take either side of the moon, 2, 3, 4 days either side of the moon, because the moon actually activates the growth of parasites in our body. So that's the best bang for your buck with anti-parasitic things. But when we've got SIBO, there's something called FODMAPs. So look up FODMAPs diet. And basically FODMAPs are fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, polyols, and there's another one. Anyway, whatever they are. So basically they are simple sugars in our foods that feed the SIBO, feed that small intestinal overgrowth, the bacterial overgrowth. So it's a good idea to cut down your FODMAP foods and increase something that actually kills off the SIBO. From the probiotic perspective, so I've got all sorts of things in here, but from the probiotic perspective, it's the SB strain that we need. So so SB is something that you'll see on probiotics, and it's the Saccharomyces boulardii strain, and it helps to displace the fungus and candida from the gut lining so that they can't adhere to it. So they don't actually increase bacteria in the gut, but they do play a really important role in creating an area where they can't thrive. The other one that's really important is a probiotic called LGG. LGG is a strain that has been found in Scandinavian countries to increase the villi in the intestines. So that's really important for when we are trying to get the gut bacteria. But do you have the home in your gut where the bacteria can thrive? That's another question. So if, for example, there's something called arabinogalactans, so things in it like larch arabinogalactans. So basically arabinogalactans are and it's also in something in Australia here, Metagenics product called G-Tox Express. So basically the arabinogalactans help to create the environment where bacteria can thrive in our intestines. So they create the home and the space for them to thrive. If we're getting to the spot where you're feeling a lot of pain all the time, that means we're hitting the nerve layer of your gut, which is 3-4 layers down in the intestines. So if you're eating and feeling pain, the nerves are raw in your intestine. So you've lost your mucus layer, you've lost your villi, you've lost your probiotic level of your gut. So then something that helps it to heal, like either the Detox Express or glutagenics, the sort of ingredients in the glutagenics that you can keep an eye out, because there's lots of them. Here I've got another gut support product, so there's lots of these products out there that you can whack into a smoothie or something in the morning. But the sort of ingredients, glutamine helps to heal the gut, the arabinogalactans, again, from larch. There's a particular type of zinc that helps to heal the gut lining with zinc carnosine. If you've got ulcerations in the gut, it's in a product called GastroCare. But basically, zinc carnosine is really good for gut ulcers, whereas zinc in general, really important for the gut lining. Vitamin A, vitamin D, and then this one also has boswellia and aloe. So aloe vera, aloe barbadensis. Basically, aloe is something that also helps to create a nice lining in the gut, and licorice is really well known to heal the gut lining as well. That one doesn't have licorice in it, but some of them do. A lot of these gut products do. But boswellia is an anti-inflammatory. Now, the other thing that can be going on as we get older, when we're about 25, we make the most hydrochloric acid of our lives. By the time we're 50, we're making half of what we did when we were 25, so we're more likely to start increasing, allergies, intolerances, irritation to things. So getting digestive enzymes, and once again, there's a million of them out there, and it depends on you as an individual which ones work for you. But there's just so many of them. You can get them so that they're specific for gluten. You can get them so they're specific for dairy. You can get them so that they're really important for your liver and gallbladder. So it depends on, but if you just have generalized gut issues, then a generalized digestive enzyme is going to help. So it's as always, it's not as easy as it sounds to heal the gut, but we have to look at what bugs you've got going on in there. Is there something like SIBO, chronic candida? Is there something like, and that can be, once again, from the foods that we are, sorry, I'm going to take you out there, and I'm just going to continue my chat while I get myself organized. So so you need to find out what bugs. So if you've had old infections in the past and lots of antibiotics, that can really mess with your ability to digest anything, which is a real problem, because, sorry, I'm going to ignore the mess around the place, grabbing my jug here for a quick cuppa before work. So so it's about really knowing what's going on with you. But these things that I have mentioned are good for just about anyone with any sort of gut issues. So in the old thing, can't hurt, might help. If you have got an ulceration, it can be an idea to actually see if you've got something called Helicobacter, because if you've got the Helicobacter virus in your digestive tract, then that can be a real problem as well. And once again, these same products can actually help to create an environment where the Helicobacter can't thrive anymore. And I've had really good success over the years with that. Obviously, the medical treatment is to use a combination of 3 different antibiotics. In fact, I think it was an Aussie guy, Dr. Thomas Borody, who originally came up with the treatment for Helicobacter, and found that was linked with many, many cases of ulceration. So that was like a huge medical breakthrough. And this poor guy this year has come up with, well, let's just say several ways of dealing with coronavirus that he's just been ignored by politicians and scientists and doctors around the world. Anyway, whatever. So that's my little chat this morning about the gut. I'm just scanning through my products and seeing if there's anything else that's obvious. Oh, by the way, if you've got parasites or bad bacteria in the gut, something that can happen is that you get sugar cravings through the roof. So sometimes sugar cravings can be a sign of parasites or SIBO, because they love a sweet environment. So these bugs, they love it when you eat sugar. That helps them to, they have a party. So things like chromium plus, chromium and vanadium are 2 minerals you need in order to make insulin. So if you are low in either chromium or vanadium, and I use the oligo scan in the clinic to actually check for that, but Anyway, it's just something that can help. So basically, if someone had bad sugar cravings, or they were on their way to diabetes, or if they had diabetes, I'd grab something like that. And honestly, I'd be taking 2-3 times a day. I wouldn't even muck around with pretending that I had decent doses of them, because by the time we are on the edge of diabetes, there's no way we've got that mineralization going on in the body. The other thing that we can do is nice formulas. So there's powders in Australia like Mineral Essentials. So basically that has a really good combination of great minerals with easy absorption, because once again, if the gut isn't working well, you have to have good, the absorption as part of the issue as well. So we need hydrochloric acid in our gut. So that's your digestive enzymes, Medigest, executive enzymes, digozyme, all those sorts of things. We need good levels of digestive enzymes in order to break down the minerals from our food. And then once the minerals are broken down, then we get to absorb them into our body. If we've got low hydrochloric acid levels in our gut, we're not going to get the minerals out of our food. So therefore you need a supplement with really easy to absorb supplements in there. If stress is a bad thing, if there's constipation associated with it, sometimes really increasing magnesiums can be an idea, because that can help to move things through the bowels. But you don't want to use bad forms. So there are really dodgy forms of magnesium, like magnesium. I've gone blank. I don't have any of the bad magnesiums here. Oh my gosh, that's really funny. Anyway, I do use the citrates and the diglycinates and the biglycinates and the it's the one that's that's really funny. Anyway, ask me if you want to know. Sorry, I'm sure I'll come up with it 30 seconds after I finish this. Anyway, okay, take care. Hope that was useful. Oh, the other thing is, and this is something that, because vitamin A and D really important for the gut lining as well, but we can need to also have break down that mucus in the intestines. So things like, because sometimes we've got hardened mucoid plaque in the intestines. In fact, I'll show you a chart. Hold on one sec. Now, this is really disgusting. So, see these pictures here? This is not poop. This is hardened mucoid plaque of all different shapes and sizes that have come out of intestines with bowel cleansers. So, no, I don't have. So basically there are processes that you can do that basically help to move everything through the intestines. But what we need to do as humans is to have lots of fibrous foods, which is why we need our veggies. So I know that in medical circles, they would really love us. Well, one of the doctors I heard last year or the year before, she was saying that we need about 20 different veggies over a 2-week period. So it's about variety. Obviously, you can't do that per meal because that's just a pain in the butt. But so thinking variety and color variation. So the more colors you have in your veggies, so you've got your red tomatoes, your purple cabbage, you've got your white stuff, you've got your yellow squash, you've got your greens, obviously, but you want a spectrum of color so that you are getting lots of different phytonutrients and phytochemicals in there. But anyway, so with the breaking down the mucoid plaque in the gut, things like N-acetylcysteine is really good. Things like vitamin C, buffered vitamin C is really good. The Bactrex and Cibo combinations, those sort of herbs tend to help to break down the gut. Anyone who's using the doTERRA oils, there are some oils that help to break down the mucoid plaque in the gut. Here in Australia, there's a fairly big going against doTERRA at the moment because of the whole Pete Evans thing that was silly. So they're getting a major boycott currently because, we're all sick of the cancel culture thing. Anywho. Oh, and of course I have my liquid herbs. So, there's lots of herbs that do all sorts of things for the intestines, the gut, for the infections, for our immune system. And That's it. Anyway, I better go have my cuppa now. Okay, take care, guys. Hope that was helpful. Bye.